Alright, what's up? Let's talk about where the frick are all my guy friends. Is that it? Can you say frick on YouTube? You can say anything on YouTube. No, but I'm sorry. It is literally like 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm gonna be weird. As a guy who has no guy friends, and I'm specifically talking about friends that I actually hang out with and live around me and that I talk to more than just online, because I do have some guy friends online, but that's right now I'm just talking about hanging out with real life off of online. So this is just, I've at least met them once in real life and we've hung out or something like that. That's who I'm talking about. And the number of guy friends would, in that case, would be 0. Yeah. Literally, the number of phone numbers for guys that I have in my phone right now is 0. I don't have any guy friends that I could just hit up and be like, yo, want to go to the mall? I'm not going to go into all those gender stuff. It's nothing like that. I can do the same exact things that I could do with a friend that's a guy, I could do with a friend that's a girl. But it's just kind of, how did that happen? I mean, most guys that I know of have a guy buddy that they talk to and hang out with and all that stuff, and I don't. I consider my best friend's boyfriend as one of my friends. We hang out when I'm over at their house. We hang out. I hang out with him. We have a really guy friendship, I mean. But if you weren't my best friend's boyfriend, then I wouldn't even know him, let alone be friends with him. It's not how my life went. I don't know how else to put it. It's really, there's a lot of factors into why my life kind of followed this path, and I ended up with no guy friends and about 7. There's about 7, well, let me think. Yeah, there's about 6 or 7 girls in my life that I consider really good friends of mine, and there's plenty more that are kind of friends of mine, and there's plenty more that I talk to. I've just always had a really easy time being friends with girls, and there's a lot of things that factor into that. There's a lot of reasons why that's just kind of how things went, but I mean, it's really not a big deal. It's the only reason I'm even making this video now is because there was actually a point in time when I was really concerned about having guy friends, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have no guy friends. What am I gonna do? This is horrible. I'm a guy and all my friends are girls, and you know, it's weird because gender isn't even that big a deal to me, but that was for some reason at one point in time, and I guess it's just because as a guy I've always wanted to be accepted into the guy spaces and the guy things, and even when I first started this whole transition thing, I was like, who can help me figure out how to freaking shave the right way? Because I have no idea, and it wasn't really something I talked about with my family at that point in time. I'm talking about before I started testosterone. I wanted to shave, the little bit that grows here. I read somewhere online that it was, guys usually don't have that. They're usually clean shaven, or they have some pretty good amount of hair there. So I wanted to shave one time, and I had no idea who to ask. I was like, I have absolutely no guy friends that I could just hit up and be like, hey, what direction do I shave? I never had a point in my life where I consciously made an effort to not be friends with guys, but I never really consciously made an effort to be friends with guys. I mean, it's just kind of how things went for me. I remember one time in middle school, I wanted so bad for this boy to tackle me while we were playing football, because all of a sudden, I used to play football with the boys every day at recess and after school. Well, not so much after school because they weren't in sack like me, but during recess I would play football with the boys every day. And I remember one time they wanted to tackle, and I was telling this boy not to treat me differently than the other boys. I want him to tackle me so bad just because I wanted to fit in so bad, and he wouldn't do it. And just, you know, my life kind of went so separate from boys' lives, but I wanted it. Oh shoot, the Funyuns bag fell and scared me. Alright, so my life went on such a different path than the boys around me, and I wanted to be on this path, and I don't know, it's kind of like being jealous, but I feel weird calling it that because it never felt like that. It just felt different, that I was different, and I felt different than the girls too, but it was just so much easier to fit into that and to be around them, and because I felt like I could be myself around them, but I felt like I couldn't around guys because people always viewed me differently, and it's just how things happen. And even when I hit like middle school and high school, I started trying really hard to be a girl and fit into this girl mold, I guess. So I tried really hard to like guys in more of a romantic way, and that didn't really work out for me. I had a really cool guy friend right before middle school, I think. He lived in Texas though, and I lived in Virginia, so I'd come visit him in the summers. He was really cool. He was different than most guys. He even had me buy him black nail polish once. He didn't have me, but he asked me for that, and that was pretty cool, you know. And I had a really cool guy friend in middle school, but with both of them, I felt a little more pressure to like them in a different way, to have a different kind of friendship or have a different kind of relationship with them than just friends, because at that point in time I was trying so hard. Most of the guys I know have guy friends, so it's a little different, even though I identify as a guy. It's just a little different for me. I had a different life growing up, and I was kind of treated differently than guys my whole life. I played sports on girls' teams, so I was always around a lot of girls. I just grew up being accepted into girl spaces and accepted in all that girl stuff and around girls, whereas with guys it was always, I felt like them but I wasn't treated like them, and it's a different thing, because I always felt different than girls. I thought I was a tomboy for a long time though, and that's pretty common in girls, so you know, it wasn't a big deal to me. I didn't feel completely different. And then when the whole trans thing came up and I realized that this was who I am, that didn't change the fact that I had all these friends that were girls that I enjoyed the company of. That didn't change the fact that I was raised being more accepted into girl spaces and around girl things and all that. That didn't change the fact that it didn't change who I am. And I don't know, just identifying as a guy. Some people expect me to have guy friends, and I really don't. My closest friends are definitely girls. Most definitely by a long shot. And it's just how it is. It's no big deal. Yeah. Alright, so this is a really weird video. But that's something I've always wanted to address just because it was such a big deal to me at one point in time, and I really, looking back on it, I have no idea why. I guess it was just a big time in my transition, and I just really wanted that guy friendship that I saw a lot of guys had, and guys were treating me differently than they would treat other guys, and I felt left out, I guess, a little bit would be probably the answer. But I'm so content with the people I have around me, especially my friends. It's just, I wouldn't change it for the world. So, that's why all my friends are girls. There we go. No big deal or anything at all. Yeah. Sorry for the weird video tonight. But there we go. Should probably go to bed now before things get weirder. Alright. Peace.